What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 302. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And we are still in the goddamn trenches with Adam.
Dude, all wasn't quiet on the Western Front.
No, dude, it was loud as
The
fuck.
only time it was quiet was when he got hit with that bomb.
Yeah.
And he got up and was looking around, and I'm like, dude, now ain't the time to chill. Like,
Yeah, right.
get the fuck up.
What a crazy dude.
I was telling Griffin a minute ago, like, the way that movie opens was so fucking eerie.
See, y'all remember,
and
that's what I was
ominous and
talking
cool.
about, was the way that they're all joining, they're all happy. Dude, even
Yeah.
fucking forged his parents' signature just so he could join at 17. But the way that they're just taking the clothes off the dead, washing them,
Yeah.
sending them right back out. He's like, oh, this is somebody's uniform. He's like, oh, that must be a mistake.
Like,
Yeah.
that,
He knew, though,
dude,
when he asked the kid, you're 17, you was born in this day? And he was like, he didn't want to send him to the war.
Yeah.
well, like, dude, that opening shot, man, like, like, it's just that skyward shot. And then as you get closer to the battlefield and you start seeing the corpses littered everywhere, and then like just that little touch of just seeing the stray bullet hitting the ground here or there, some of them connecting with dead bodies and shit like that. That was, I don't know, it was like it was really well made. Like that was cool as fuck in the most disturbing sense, you know?
Yeah. There was a lot of disturbing moments in this film. Like one of the most disturbing moments to me was them going out to look for those soldiers, and
The
they
boys.
walk in. Yeah,
Yeah.
they walk in that room, and there's just hundreds of dead bodies in there, and they're like the stupid idiots. They thought that they were safe. They took their mask off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just like, man, yeah.
I feel like I was still kind of desensitized from Stalingrad. So watching it, I was just like, man, that's fucked up. That's, yeah, about what I figured, you know? But I
Yeah.
mean, it's still just timeless fucking European perspective war film, dude. Bleak as shit.
There's
Yeah.
something you never think about, and they can't get it across in movies, but imagine the smell.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like, ooh. When they were drinking that dirty ass water, I'm like, dude, that might kill you. Shit.
Yeah, right. It's a legitimately terrifying, man. Like
Well,
war.
Well, I mean, this era of war is terrifying because, you know, like it was in that period where it was, you know, where they finally did away with the all right guys, let's line up and shoot at each other.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, trench warfare. You know what I mean? And that shot where it's like they're getting overrun, and the one when they show up with the flamethrowers, like I don't even know what to say. Like in that moment, what is running through a person's head?
Fuck.
I mean, legit, right? Like,
Well, I feel like it's adrenaline fueled. Nah, it's him or me. It's him.
I mean, even when he shot that dude, he was just like the
'Cause, like,
realization that he just killed someone. You know?
well, I mean, granted, we get a lot of dramatic effect in this movie, but you got to think about like when you do away from the moments where, yeah, there clearly were those moments of like clarity where they're like, dude, this is fucked up, and it you know it fucks their head up a little bit, but in that moment in the middle of like battle and stuff, you're probably pumped with so much adrenaline. I'm not saying it on like a I like this top level, but you're in full response mode.
Yeah.
You weren't thinking about, oh man, they're dead. It's like, no, people are dying. I'm not dying. Fuck this. Like they're dead. You know.
That's
Right.
something you see too across all these films is like every time that someone gets close to the enemy, like close enough to look in their eyes,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't want to kill this person. We
Yeah.
don't want to kill each other. Like,
But 2 seconds ago, like they were ready to empty a clip,
Yeah.
though. Like, yeah, like it snaps them out of it. Like that. Like, yeah, like those moments that it's effective as shit. Like like you're saying, like those moments where, it's not they're not enveloped by their company. Like
Yeah.
two opposing sides have trailed off the path from the group a little bit. They cut the corner and they see each other and like, you know what? Let's just go the other way and pretend we didn't fucking see each other, you know?
but as
And the
soon as they
psycho,
get there, dude,
I don't know. Yeah.
as soon as they get there, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, oh, it's like this every day.
Yeah,
Hundreds of
this
people
is it.
die, then they bring more in the next day. Like,
And then they show up at the one place with their masks on and they're like, yep, congratulations, you made it. you know?
but they were all smiling. We're gonna meet girls, and
Yeah.
it's like they wanted to get out of their little town.
Was going to give them some clout.
And when they're sitting there filling those helmets up with water that's not going out of the trench,
Yeah.
you're just
yeah.
splashing it back in. The guy was like, "This isn't how I imagined it." It's like, yeah, I bet that happened to. I mean, you really don't know
Yeah. Right.
what it's like there. There's no news. They're not giving the numbers. They're not
Mm-mm.
saying, yeah, we're losing like 100,000 a day.
Well, it's like you're in another world.
For too damn
And-
long.
And
Yeah.
it always contrasted like in these movies where, it's never the people wanting to wage war that are on the battlefield.
No, they're the ones that are sitting on the train cart, smoking cigars and
Yeah.
eating nice food, and
Yeah, constantly looking
Yeah,
like they just got out
they're
of the
fucking ass
shower.
out there.
And sometimes I feel like that message gets lost a lot because it's used in the sense of like, all right, they're out there fighting the war and everything. Here's where the planning's going on. They're gonna pull it off, guys. But then when you stand back and look at it, you're like, dude, so much human suffering is happening because a bunch of fucking assholes.
With huge egos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't just let it go. It's like, no, you lost. They were like, we're not signing this. He's a dictator. And it's like, that be.
Yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's like, goddamn, dude. We talked about this last week a little bit. I think Trav brought it up actually, where it's just like the older that we get, the more that we recognize, like, because when you're young and you're not in situations like that, it's hard to rationalize human life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, like, we have collectively, the three of us have been around death before. But there's some people out there that don't have to deal with any type of death in their life until they're way older.
Yeah.
So being born when we were born, growing up the way that we grew up, in the climate of the world, I mean, because like we were too young to go whenever 9/11 happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when we got old enough to do anything about it, it wasn't as much of a risk. I don't want to diminish what it is, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
by the time that we got old enough to actually enlist in anything, it wasn't as risky as it was like right out of the rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
it went from being a full on campaign to just a fucking money meat grinding machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. By the time any of my buddies went over there was infrastructure. They
Right,
had
yeah.
camps. They had,
Yeah.
Like, was it last year or the year before when we did the disastrous pullout? It was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 22 years, right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I mean, that's 2/3 of our lives, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level of, I mean, being desensitized, man.
It went on so long that every
It
now
was
and then
just
they'd
always,
mention it, and you're like, "Oh
it
yeah,
was
that's still
always in the
going on."
background. Yeah, it was
Like,
always in the
oh,
background.
we're still over there. Did we ever
went
find those
so,
weapons?
It went on for so long that you could view people that went into the military as either they were going to fight for the country or like it almost was a parody.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But like, us growing up and, experiencing the life that our generation, the people in our age range experience life, it's hard to like see what value an actual life has unless you deal with some type of loss in your life. Um, could you imagine being a 17-year-old, not knowing any better? You know what I mean? Not really having any frame of reference whatsoever to something like this, and then like just seeing disaster. Your friends are like day one,
Yeah.
one of your best friends is dead. Like you get buried in that thing. Like they got buried up in that thing, and it's like, dude, what? It's just I don't know. And getting older and seeing this and being like, it was all for naught. Like, of course, there's always outcomes to wars. There's always positives and negatives to wars, of course, but like the people that are on that front line do not give a shit about whatever political bullshit is going on. You know, they just want to go home to their family, and it's sad, man. It's very sad.
What did it say at the end? 7 million.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
It's like the Ukraine and Russia do. Like just yesterday. That's been going on for a year. A year.
That's insane. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
No.
I guess it has, though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they all came out and made their statements, and
Uh-huh.
it's been a year. Biden was in Poland. He gave a speech at Warsaw.
It's so crazy.
I know I don't want a fucking world war.
Nah, dude.
Like seeing this shit, I don't want any war. Can't everybody just be happy with the land they have? It's like you already got land, motherfucker. Be happy with it. Like,
can we agree to disagree?
I thought we agreed in the fucking 40s.
Yeah,
Did
right.
we agree? But this was a good movie.
It was very well made. It was very well shot. Like, to me, it might be one of the best war films that's ever been made.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Yeah. Just for the simple fact of like how it was shot, how the story was presented, like just everything down to
showing the
T.
reality. Like,
Yeah,
don't sugarcoat it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because a lot of times they do that in war movies.
Yeah. Dude, he straight went out there and told those people that the war's not ending until 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
We've got time to take this bitch back. And the people that were like, nah, dude.
They shot him.
They pulled him aside and shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just marched hundreds of people to their death.
Mm-hmm. Even the other side was just sitting there like, we're about to go home.
Yeah, right. We made it. And it's like, nope.
And I was hoping, man. I was like, our boys got to get out of here. But no. You don't get that. And the way that he went down,
yeah, right. Got stabbed in the back.
Well, like his buddy right before that when he got shot.
Yeah.
By the kid.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
He's like, it's no good. He's dead already. It's like, what do you mean? Dude, he carried his body for miles.
Yeah, those dudes in that truck that were drinking, celebrating.
Yeah, right.
Damn. The one guy that was like, he wanted to be like military police. And they're like, that ain't ever going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, fuck it. You're always negative, you know? But when he's laying there, probably dying. I mean, he hadn't been, I don't know if he'd been operated on yet or definitely losing that leg. When they gave him the fork, he just fucking killed himself.
Dude, yeah.
It was like,
he's over it.
Yeah.
He's like, you brought the utensils? And it's like, yeah, I got your utensils right here. Yeah, dude.
And then while he's sitting there stabbing himself and they're trying to help him, that dude ran over there and grabbed his soup.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ran back with it. It was like,
yeah.
God damn. Brutal.
Yeah, I'm right there. I don't want a war. I don't want any of that shit, man.
And I know we don't fight them like this anymore, but still.
But still, though, yeah,
they're
dude.
fucking blowing people's houses and shit up. Like,
yeah.
You know, used to we'd meet in a field somewhere. At least we did that.
Well,
yeah.
Think about this, man.
It's all that urban warfare now.
Well, think about this. Yeah, we have body cam footage, but that has to be approved. I still think, now, I'm sure I'm probably wrong here. I'm not a soldier. I don't know shit about that other than what I observe and look up and read about, you know? But I would assume that there is absolutely still that disconnect between the rest of the world and in the shit.
Yeah.
I've seen some terrible videos come out of the Ukraine. Terrible.
And that's just the ones that are approved.
Well, these are stuff that people put online.
Yeah.
Because people were just filming stuff there, you know, because it's in their town.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd leak, you know, they'd upload it. And because Twitter's not censored anymore.
Worse, you know? Yeah.
You'd see like that video of the man and his son, they take the wife and the daughter to the train station so they can go to Poland. And then they go back to get the dogs. And on the way back, they get ambushed by Russian soldiers. And they just shoot them up, dude. It's all caught on camera.
So
terrible.
Fucked up. Yeah, dude. So fucked up, man. I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm all wore out for a little while.
Yeah. It's same.
I need some Triple R.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. It's like the war films that we make here in the States. Like, look, that movie we were talking about it. I think it was the last episode, the one with Spider-Man and Vince Vaughn.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes. Great movie, great performances. Nothing compared to this.
Well, even Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as brutal. It's
no.
And that wasn't that D-Day?
Yeah, that was
sure
D-Day,
that was pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. There was definitely some like brutal moments and everything in there, but like World War I was a different beast. We started the war with horses.
Yeah.
You know, and like single shot weapons, and we ended the war with tanks. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Them tanks showing up, dude, and they're just running people, just dude.
Dude, when it ran that guy over?
Yeah, dude. Them in the trench and it driving over them and them looking up like, is this thing going to fall on us? Like, what? You know, what's fixing to happen right now?
I don't know, like, how I would have kept from, like, taking my own life.
Exactly.
In a trench like that.
Yeah.
Because when it started, was it 1914?
I think so.
And then, like, jump ahead, you're like 1917. And it's like, they have been out here this long? I would have done killed myself, dude.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
Yeah, it's July the 28th, 1914, November the 11th, 1918. 4 years.
Too damn long.
Yeah.
to deal with that.
Yeah.
Well, and also that pivot at that time in history where technology was being, you know, like implemented into the military, like all that shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, there was no, what is it called now where it's like that agreement we won't use, Agent
Chemical,
Orange.
yeah, chemical. The yeah, it's some treaty, but I mean everybody breaks it.
Yeah,
But
like
it's like,
Japan still uses flamethrowers.
yeah,
I think they're the only ones.
but it's crazy, man. It's very terrifying. Like I said, there's a difference in fighting for your country and fighting with your country,
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, nobody in this world right now at this very second can give me any reason whatsoever to fight for my country. Nothing. Nothing. If someone was trying to invade my house, then that's a
different.
different
That's on
story.
my
Yeah.
land. Yeah, it's one thing.
Yeah.
But to get
But
on an airplane and fly for 18 hours,
yeah. To like almost certain death,
Geneva Convention.
Yes,
That's what they
Geneva
call
Convention.
it. Hell no.
No. And
that's always, remember they would say this, they were like, during, after 9/11, they were like, well, wouldn't you rather take it there than it be here? And it's like, but it's not here.
Yeah.
Like even what happened on 9/11, terrible, but the war's not here.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to change those people.
No.
They don't want to change.
No. Why do we feel the need to fucking force? You know what I mean? To force like
on everyone.
Yeah, this is how it should be, and it's like, should it though? Should it? So yeah. Like I said, pacifist.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight nobody. I don't want, I don't want to kill nobody. But if somebody
shit, won't be no shit.
Exactly. If somebody starts fucking around, they're gonna find out. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But I'm not the type of person to go out and try to start shit. I'll never put myself in a situation to where I have to like make a decision whether I'm gonna take someone's life or someone's gonna take my life,
Mm-hmm.
What's incredible is that there are places where they will straight up be like, "You're gonna go fight for this country. You're gonna die." Like that's the scarier thing to consider too.
And that's what makes this country a great one. And I don't know why people hate that.
I know, right?
You have a choice. Well, what is it? Is it Iran? It's like militaries. You have to do.
Yeah.
So many. Is it Israel? Where is it?
Israel does it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Germany
make all the young kids serve in the military, and they're not going off and fighting. They're just, it's mandatory.
But they're trained.
Yeah. Everyone is.
Yeah, exactly. Not only are they trained, everyone trained for it. There's also like a certain level of respect that is developed whenever people are in the military. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's a whole different conversation as well. It's like, to me, looking back at things, would I be upset if you graduate, let's say, you graduate, you're 18, and you have to spend 2-3 years in the military getting training for everything, firearm training, survival training, like the whole 9 yards. And then like, I was talking to my grandmother about this one time because she was in the military, and I was like, it's like, it really wouldn't be, it would help a lot in furthering the world, because you have people out there that are very, very smart, that don't do anything with their lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's not something there. Because like think about where we grew up in the schools we went to. There was nothing or no one there in those places that were like, "Hey man, you're super smart. You should." They're like, "No, can you play football? Well,
Yeah.
then get the fuck out." You know, like there was nothing there. So how many hundreds of people, possibly
It's
millions of
wasted
people,
potential
exactly,
because
that
they
are
didn't play
just
sports.
yes, exactly, hyper intelligent. You know, it's crazy, man. So do I think it's about like that's a whole different conversation, of course. You'd have a much more respectful
Oh
society
yeah.
if that had like it would I think to me personally it would make things drastically better.
Oh, it would be a different country
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, like I said, that's a whole different
But
conversation.
I'm pretty sure they won't kill you. I think you just go to jail for a little while if you
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie was shot incredibly well. The story was great. Like, you know, this was a remake of a 30s. Was it a 30s film?
Yeah.
So, you know, this was something that, you know, was always kind of like before it was remade was considered one of the greatest war films of all time. And then I felt like I haven't seen the original, but I do feel like that it has done justice though, you
Yeah, I
know?
watched some clips. It's pretty dated.
Right. But yeah,
I think
it
there were
was
several
shot.
people that wrote books that a lot of it's based on from being there.
Yeah,
The ones that actually did make it out.
right. And just think that this ended and then like what, 20 years later?
Time to do it again.
Yeah, 20 to 30 years later, it's go time, baby. It's like, come on, man. I'm giving it a star.
Full star.
Like I said, this might be one of
Absolutely.
the best war films ever made, in my opinion. And it's not so jarring as to something that's like a one-time viewing. Like, I don't have the same feeling after watching this as I did like Requiem for a Dream,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Where it's just so disturbing that you're just like,
A
"What?"
couple of days to
Well,
process
it's
the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, it's just some of the shots are very striking. Like you were talking about, Griff, the scene where they find the bodies.
Yeah.
Like, uh, the the contrasting with the shots of them being all happy and all of that just makes for a very sobering look at how the world was at that time.
Well,
Yeah.
like his buddy that got shot at the end, I can't remember his name, but whenever he gets that letter, and they're
Yeah.
so happy just to get a fucking. And he ran out there and he got his cigarette. He like had a whole ritual. He's like, all right, now read it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, that's sad, man.
Yeah.
Only thing you got to look forward to, just a little letter.
Just a letter,
But they
man.
were so happy to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a great movie, man.
Incredibly well done.
I knew
Will
be.
when the young guy, his other friend, when he hung up that picture of that girl, and he was like,
Yeah.
you jealous? I was like, he's about to die on this
Yeah.
push here. Like,
Um,
flamethrowered him.
I think this and 1917. I think they're definitely contenders for required viewing if you take the war film look, or at least the dramatization.
Yeah.
It had that 1917 kind of vibe to it.
It did.
The way it
Yeah.
was shot, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's that palette that operates well for a war movie.
Absolutely. Last of Us, though.
I don't think he's dead.
You
I
don't
think
think
she's
so?
going to use that thing that woman gave her.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to put that in the hole. Well, it could just make sense.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I didn't even think
Well,
about
when I
that,
was
but
sitting there
yeah,
seeing that, I was like, put that fucking stopper in there. You still got it. And then here's why I think that. They definitely left it on a cliffhanger because if right after the episode plays, they always play next week's clip. And then they play a little clip of them talking about making an episode.
yeah,
Well, next week's episode is like a flashback to her and her friend when they were in the mall.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, because at first I'm like, there's no Pedro in this clip. Then I'm like, oh, it's a flashback. So
yeah,
they're purposely doing that to. Didn't play the game. Don't know if that happens in the game. But I do know that he's supposed to be in all the episodes. I just don't think they kill him off
yeah,
there.
right. Yeah, they did some moving in this episode too.
Yeah.
You know,
Remember when I
like
said, I was like, I saw the clip for next week. It gets different. I mean, they roll into a
yeah,
whole town. It's like, shit,
yeah. 3
just
months have
stay.
passed. Yeah,
Try to get on the horn. Get a hold of people. I don't know if I'd want to leave there.
yeah. I don't know, and it's funny when they did that whole communism thing.
Yeah.
He's like, so it's communism, and his brother's like, no, it ain't nothing. And it's like, we're a commune, so yeah, it's kind of like communism. And the way that he looked back
Yeah.
at him, he's like, I mean, it is, you know, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you know. So, but it was a really good episode though.
The Tipsy
The
Bison.
monkeys, yeah. Is that the name of the bar?
Yeah, it was on the sign in there.
Oh, I'm putting that down. Y'all might be
The
visiting
Tipsy
that.
Bison. I looked it
Yeah,
up because I was like, is that a real, like, seeing what town that was? And
yeah.
it's from the game. So apparently you do go into that bar in the game.
Yeah, I'm making a note of that real quick because that's it's a pretty good little callback too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Good app.
yeah, it was a great episode, man. And like you actually see a little bit more of Joel's humanity come out, you know?
Well, he's finally come around, like when
Yeah,
they're practicing shooting and,
yeah,
you know, I think it helped too, like by her knowing about his daughter. Like they finally broke the ice on that.
he was straight up, don't you say another word. I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, get him, you know? Get him. But yeah, it was a great episode, man. And I'm excited because we've got what 2 episodes left, right? This was 6. I think there's 9 total. So
Yeah.
3. So I'm excited. And it's cool that the next episode's going to be like her backstory because, you know, that was DLC and I never played that DLC. So I'm interested to see, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of unfold a little bit.
They're
So,
adapting DLC.
yeah.
That's just funny. Like,
That's how it be now.
Dude, I thought that
But yeah,
dog was gonna
tear
was like,
apart.
oh. Ugh.
What about what I love that whenever dude walks in the cabin at the beginning, he's like, "I want you to point at that map and tell us exactly where we
Oh, that
are."
was funny.
Yeah, he's like, "I want to see if where your wife pointed to is the same." And he goes, "Did you tell him the truth?"
Yeah.
"Yep." "Are you telling me the
Yeah.
truth?"
So they
"Yep."
do you want him to shoot me? He's like, you made them soup? She's like, yeah, they didn't hurt me.
It's cold outside, you know. Like
she was
she,
chilling, dude.
She was chill.
yeah, she's just happy to have somebody around, you know. Been living with this fool for like 50 years, it seems like. So,
I said
but
that
yeah,
little shack was comfy as fuck, though.
yeah. And it was cool how they hinted on the reservations too in that area.
Yeah.
When they talked about the Indian reservations that's out there, and it's like, yeah, it's everything's fucked. So yeah, kind of a apocalyptic scenario. But yeah, it was a good episode. I'm excited for more.
I'm still just in awe at how much of a better show this has been than previous ones that we've all tried to watch.
Yeah, right.
Because it's,
And
I mean,
dude,
I know we're holding it up to The Walking Dead a lot, but I mean, let's face it. You know, there's been all those other shows that have come out that's tried to ride the wave with The Walking Dead, and some of them are interesting, a lot of them aren't good, and you know, it's just it's refreshing that there's something like this out now, and it's kind of made me like, as much as there's the gamer in me wants to play the games now. I really enjoy being able to just watch and just pay attention to what's going on.
yeah.
I
Well,
know.
and look,
I mean, I know you've talked about playing the base game and everything. Um, so far, where would you place it on the adaptation level, like high or low?
I mean, I would say that this might be the best video game adaptation we've gotten so far.
Nice.
Like it's similar, but it's not the same. That
Like
that way,
are the nitpicks that a gamer, like the gamer perspective, has of this show, are they nitpicks that are crucial, or just what just that in and of itself a nitpick?
I mean, it's just little nitpicks, and you kind of see it in this episode, especially where they're like walking around, and she's asking, like when they walk up to the dam, and she's like, damn, and he's like, yeah. She's like, electricity, and he's like, yeah. I don't know how it works, so don't ask. And they have those conversations back and forth. That's more like how the exposition in the game was, where you had a lot of conversations about the world as a whole between those two. They
Well,
changed it up.
as you're traveling throughout the game world, like your characters will kind of exchange banner like that.
Yeah,
Reading
they're
letters and shit.
well, they talk to each other like nonstop through the game. Like they're constantly having conversations about stuff the entire time. Um, and the way that the show gets around that is having more of these, other characters and things like that coming in and give like explicit exposition of to specific things. But you, you can't have a whole show based on them having conversation like that. Like it would be great and I would enjoy it, but a lot of people wouldn't. So I think that a lot of the gripes, which I haven't seen or read many, but I think that a lot of the gripes for people just simply come from the fact that like they just want to nitpick at it because it's something it's not perfectly adapted, and it's like good. I'm glad it's not perfectly adapted. The story's there, the problems are still the problems, the mission is still the mission, and they're still trying to make their way through everything.
Um,
And I like
would
it.
you? So, I guess that leads to asking, uh, when like in terms of like where we're at in the show, are we like have they meddled with time for the sake of the show and runtime, or would you say we've seen the same amount of story play out as to where you would be in that part of the game? I guess I know it's a weird question. I hope it makes sense.
No, I mean, in the game, you have the same exact time jump from last episode to this episode as you did in the game. Like the events of Henry and all that stuff play out, and then there's a time jump, and they're in the snow.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it's keeping proper pace, even though we've had the one episode with dude Ron Swanson.
So from the making of on that episode and everything, and from what I've read and seen and other stuff, it seems like that episode was very much just a supplemental part of the story. Like
Yeah,
they decided to take the opportunity to flesh out, you know, something that was pretty prevalent, I guess, early on in the game, and they just went with it.
yeah. And to me, it seems like okay. I imagine that the writer, because the writer for the game wrote the story. I imagine that he was like, we can tell the entire story in probably 6 to 7 episodes, but I can tell even more of the story if you allow me to have a couple of one-off episodes that explain backstory and things like that. And
We'll just kind of enrich the world a little more,
yeah, exactly. And I
ground
think
you a
that,
little more in that reality.
yeah. And I think that those episodes, like especially that episode earlier on, was very crucial because it was like you see a lot of development happen from that episode with like Joel's backstory and his relationship with the character, and the fact that like he's been kind of this way for a while now, and like this, and they feed into it more in this episode where it's like, Joel's killed people and so is his brother, and they're not like necessarily they're people. They're doing the best that they can. There's no good guys and bad guys.
So
There's just survivors.
yeah. So something else I was wondering too. Does The Last of Us, I mean, not necessarily the show, but the game as well, I guess, since it's a cinematic type of experience to play through. Um, you know, with a lot of the movies that we watch and just movies in general, just like it's part of the formula for a script, I guess. When you're dealing with more serious stories, be it from drama to like horror, usually the ending of the movie is seeded and kind of told at the beginning of the film. It could always be something very on the nose late after finishing the film, or something you don't pick up until maybe way later on.
Yeah.
Does The Last of Us have any of that going on?
Um, I mean, kinda, but I don't know. Like, I don't really want to.
The reason why I say that is because an image, like a certain thing, like, well, for one, I think there's more to the deaths that have been very like there's been three instances where we have the holding the dying person in their arm thing play out.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's going to be something at the end of this story where it's either Joel or Ellie or whatever.
Well, it's got to be Joel, right?
I mean,
But he's
you'll
not
see.
in the second game, so right.
Because
I know
it's
that
I
from
think
watching
you.
clips.
we have the scene of Joel holding his daughter, then Joel
Yeah,
holding, not really holding, but Joel saying goodbye to chick before she sacrifices herself. We got Frank and Bob and their ending, or whatever their names. They're Frank and Bob, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But and then you know what I mean. I feel like that like they keep making a point to film a sequence like that play out, because like normally you have a significant death, and of course that's gonna be how the scene usually is shot, but it's recurred an awful lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it in the show, but we'll just.
We'll leave it at
I'll-
watch
that.
it.
yeah, because I mean, if I elaborate on any of that and the significance of all that stuff, then it's gonna like, yeah, it's gonna open it up to a bigger can of worms.
Does it make you go, "Oh shit, that's what they meant by The Last of Us,"
Kinda.
or is it just on the nose for the fact that it's like, yeah, the world's over and it's just The Last of Us?
Well, it's kind of multifaceted.
Hmm.
Says it takes about 14 hours to play that first game, so I would say after the season, that's pretty close to.
Yeah, I
There's
think
been
they're gonna
several
wrap.
episodes longer than an hour.
Yeah. I think they're going to wrap everything in this first game up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that last episode's probably going to have a good hour 20 to hour 40-minute runtime.
And dude, that theme song is mint.
Yeah,
I like
right.
that intro.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Like, I'm a sucker for the pretentious artsy intro. Like, I love that shit.
I think that if next week's episode is a flashback episode, I think that it's going to be balls to the wall nonstop for the last two episodes.
Is that where things are just gonna be like you say, just going bonkers and everything?
Yeah, because there's the like in The Last of Us, the very beginning of it and the very end of it was like,
Two different games
well,
in a
it's
good
just
way.
well, yeah, kind of, but it's when the majority of the exposition for everything happens. And in the middle of it, it's like you exploring the world for what it is now. And they've done a good
It's
job.
you getting there, basically.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And they've done a good job about that in the game in the show, because it's like the first couple of episodes explained a lot of like the world, how it got this way, how the world is now, setting everything up. And then you've got the middle episodes, which are elaborating on that and showing you the rest of the world. And then I think the last two episodes are going to be pretty pretty nuts in a good way. So
Ellie better not be a fucking alien. That's all I'm saying. That's gonna be a cop out.
I mean, wouldn't that be something?
Star Child, you will defeat the fungi.
It's going to be good though. I'm excited I'm excited to see how they wrap everything up, because it is very well
So
made.
Well, what sucks, man, is it's almost over.
I know,
Feels like it
right?
just started. Like,
Yeah.
well, what's crazy is this is a Naughty Dog property, and so is Uncharted. Uncharted got a Hollywood blockbuster budget,
Yeah.
and it was what it was. This got HBO budget. Was it more? Would you think this show cost more than Uncharted did? Because
I don't
this straight stomps that stuff's genitalia into the dirt.
I would think that the Uncharted movie probably got a little bit more of a budget.
I
I
mean,
mean, you're
I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but still, you know.
well, I mean, you've got to pay Mark Wahlberg and
yeah,
Tom Holland. And then you've got these very elaborate set
you
pieces.
got
You've
to
got
fly a boat
yeah,
with
exactly, right? Like
helicopters.
there, but the differences that you'll see is like you've got HBO 9 episodes able to flesh more out. You've got the writer for the game not only helping with it, but like actively writing for the show. So you have people put in place that like legitimately care about the story and everything.
That is,
Yeah,
I mean, and honestly, that should be industry standard when adapting these things. And as bittersweet as that would be, because there are some people who would make a game that'd be like, nah, dude, if you want to experience the story, you got to play my game.
yeah,
If those people don't want to do it, then we just don't get the fucking movie. And that sucks. But I feel like if someone is passionate enough about the game that they've developed and the story that they want to tell through that game, that they're willing to cross mediums to tell it again,
yeah.
like I'm way more willing to invest my time in something like that, especially after this.
The Last
I'm
of Us
holding it.
budget was 100 million, or Uncharted was 120 million.
Yeah, so
So they did it
Google it.
cheaper and got more time, more screen time. Like, how the
and
fuck does that work out? I mean, I know like actor salaries is obviously a factor, but still.
Well, they're just
yeah,
filming like in the middle of nowhere too, and
yeah,
Uncharted was going to all these places, and
yeah.
that gets
Shutting
expensive.
cities
A
down.
lot of
Yeah,
helicopter rides.
Yeah,
yeah. One thing I will say,
promotion to put it out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing that I will say, this is hinting on something that you were talking about earlier, Trav, was the fact that like, we've had all these experiences, these zombie, post-apocalyptic series, this, that, and the other. Like, we haven't seen an infected anything in like 2 episodes, maybe longer.
You're
Like
right.
that they established these things. No, the last episode had that big ending where
Well,
but
it's less is more, but when you get it, you get a lot of it.
exactly.
And that's
And,
more impactful, and it makes them feel more of a threat.
well, and it's not used as a way for it's not used as like a stereotypical, well, we need to move the scene along or we need to move the show along. So what are we going to do? Zombies attack.
Well,
They
it's
breach
well,
in.
and if you think about it, just the design of the infected in this story is it's ingenious because one of the reasons why they're slow crawling is because you gotta watch where the fuck you're going. You could step on the wrong damn thing and that summons a horde. Like,
Yeah, right.
I mean, because whenever they were explaining that, I thought that to me that creeps me out far more than just the masses of them that show up.
Yeah,
It's
right.
all equally terrifying, nonetheless. But knowing that it's all one living organism,
Yeah, it's the Borg.
that's yeah.
But we got a little bit of movie news here. So I wanted to throw this in here. So British Academy Film Awards, All Quiet on the Western Front wins Best Picture. And I just wanted to throw that in there because, like, good for them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it says Austin Butler won the Best Actor award for his critically acclaimed performance of Elvis.
Uh-huh.
Kate Blanchett, two-time Oscar winner actress, has won Best Actress. Barry Keogh and Carrie Condon, Better Call Saul and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, won Best
That's
Supporting Actor, Actress in The Banshees.
that billboards is not necessarily my cup of tea, but I watched it with my wife, and
It's
it is
very
a
good.
good move. It is a
Yeah,
good movie.
it's very good. But yeah, I wanted to give a shout out there because I mean, I'm glad that it saw some love there, and you know, it was it deserved it. So, on some weirder news, James Cameron is on board with the idea that Thanos was right. So, ever since Avengers Endgame hit screens, there's been a frequent debate over whether the grand plan of Thanos to wipe out half the universe was not actually as bad as it was made out to be. Subject recently came to the attention of Avatar director James Cameron, who recently told Time he was very much able to relate to the quandary over Thanos' way of balancing the universe. This is what he had to say. I can relate to Thanos. I thought he had a pretty viable answer. The problem is nobody is going to put up their hands to volunteer to be the half that has to go. Cameron's comment come into more perspective when taking into account the director's views on environmentalism and the climate change crisis. As someone who has always been happy to speak his mind, it is not surprising that Cameron is one of the few people who can contemplate wiping out half the planet as a viable answer to solving the environmental issues caused by human activity on Earth right now, and do so with a smile.
You know, those Disney execs are like, what the fuck did he say? Did he
I know,
did he give
right?
this speech at Davos? I think they just had the World Economic Forum, right?
I
Was he sitting up
mean,
there with Klaus Schwab?
it's like,
Thanos was right. Okay,
yeah, yeah. We've got to
we got to
thin the
make a gauntlet,
population.
an infinity
Yeah.
gauntlet.
I've been doing all, dude. Next, he's going to be launching probes into space to look for the Infinity Stones. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, he's already checked the ocean.
yeah, they're
No,
not there.
Schwab turns around and goes, Cameron. Yeah, Schwab. Bring me the stones.
What a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Yeah, and we've talked about
Sure.
that, and like, you know, it's fun to sit around with your friends and like be like, well, is it really such a bad idea? Blah 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 blah. But for like the dude that directed Titanic and Avatar to come out and be like, Thanos really was onto something there. It's like, was he
yeah,
though?
but I wonder how he would feel if he was one of the half.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't get to pick, and just because you're fucking James Cameron don't mean shit.
Well, my thing is if he is, you know, as gung ho about the environment as he says, then if he killed himself, then that would be one less person creating a footprint.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, he has a private jet.
Yeah, there's
None of
that.
us do. So
Yeah, so you know, we can argue that point
see,
all day.
that's one thing about Leonardo DiCaprio. This
Yeah.
motherfucker's got a mega yacht, dude, that burns like 300 gallons of diesel an hour.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got to save the world. And it's like, dude, we're going to start with your ass.
Yeah.
300 gallons an hour.
You know, it'd be easier to respect these people if they lived in like a yurt in the middle of Arizona. You know what I mean? Like just roughing it out there. Got a nice little roll in the bank account, but nah, dude. I'm not flying with fucking peasants.
Yeah.
Bring me my private jet. It's like, okay. So, did y'all see the news recently about the Hellboy reboot? Did we talk
yeah.
about that last week?
No, but I put it in Twitter.
Okay. So, following the recent news that comic book hero Hellboy will be rebooted all over again, director Brian Taylor has promised that his plan for the project will be something that hasn't been seen on screen before. Speaking with Collider, Taylor revealed a far few details about his vision for yet another reboot of Hellboy, declaring that it will absolutely be something that hardcore fans of the Dark Horse Comics character want to see on the big screen. This is what he had to say. I want fans to know that we're coming at this film from a place of love for the original material and for the character, for Mike's character. We're not trying to reinvent some completely different idea of Hellboy. We're trying to get back to the feeling of these particular books from the mid-aughts. It's something that hasn't been seen on screen before, but it's a version I think hardcore Hellboy fans will want to see. Anyway, I do. Hellboy was first brought to live action by Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro back in 2004, starring Ron Perlman, Selma Blair, Doug Jones, Jeffrey Tambor, Rupert Evans, and John Hurt. Del Toro's adaptation was well received by both critics and audiences alike, leading to another critically acclaimed outing, Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. Instead of giving Del Toro the trilogy he deserved and audiences wanted, Lionsgate instead decided to reboot the property with Hellboy in 2019. Stranger Things star David Harbour takes over as Big Red, and while his performance is very well received, the whole thing felt like a lesser take on what Del Toro did so brilliantly, leading to what can only be described as a critical mauling. Time will tell what director Brian Taylor has in store and how he will make a Hellboy movie that both appeals to comic book fans while delivering something unique. Details of what the Hellboy reboot will involve have come thick and fast, with Taylor revealing that the movie will adapt the comic book miniseries The Crooked Man. Published in 2008, The Crooked Man is a smaller, more intimate, lower stakes story than audiences are used to, and finds the well-meaning half-demon assist a man who wishes to save his soul. More lean and mean, creepy folk horror, a younger Hellboy wandering the dark corners of the world, paranormal investigator, Night Stalker. The Crooked Man in particular is just such an iconic book written by Mike, drawn by Richard Corbin, another legend, Taylor explained. Set in the late 50s, for me, it's my favorite version of the character, so the appeal of this one to me is to go back to that and do a real reset and really give us that version of Hellboy, which I just don't think we've seen yet. No release date has been set for the Hellboy reboot, nor do we know who will step into the big boots of the title character. Stay tuned for more news.
There's a joke there when you said that something that hasn't been seen on screen before. I'm like, what a good Hellboy movie! Like, but Brian Taylor did those Crank movies. He wrote those,
Yeah.
And he did that Happy series. You know, the one where the guy sees a unicorn.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, where he's hallucinating.
Yeah, it's got.
So that's kind of cool because that's the kind of style.
Yeah,
You know, that
right.
weirdness, like.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. And if it's going to take place in the 50s, if it's going to be an earlier version, then that's fine because we've got the Del Toro book movies, which are great. We got, the David Harbour, which was okay. I thought he did a great job as Hellboy. Since he's taken it back to the 50s, then is it really a reboot? Can you throw it into canon with one of the two other versions? Possibly they could try to connect all the dots. Whatever they wanted to do, blah, 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 blah. So I'm all for that. I'm just interested to see like who are they going to cast as
Yeah, who's gonna
Hellboy?
get picked?
I mean, we've had two great versions. That's the thing. It's like we've had two different versions of Hellboy. Both of them were great. Both of them deserved more. Like who could step in and fill that role? And I mean, someone that comes to mind right now, give it to the guy that does Letterkenny.
Oh,
If they don't
if they ain't
cast
get
him,
Wolverine, then
yes, if they don't cast him as Wolverine, cast him as Hellboy,
I was
low
fighting
and
some
slow.
demons the other day.
Yeah. Oh God. I think that he's got some I think he's got some chops in him that we haven't seen yet, you know?
I think they will pick a smaller dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I don't think he'll, and they'll buff him up with the gear, but
Yeah.
like that David Harbour Hellboy was fucking ripped.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think that like if it's going to be set in the 50s, it's going to be a little bit more of an intimate story. I think that they'll comfortably throw 60 to 80 million at the budget, which if you're going to do it like a smaller film, a more intimate, almost indie-esque film, I think that that's appropriate for it. And I think that like whoever they bring in to play Hellboy should be able to knock it out of the park.
I find it
So,
I find it fascinating that that Hellboy has gotten as many attempts on screen as it has already.
yeah.
Not because the character's bad or anything, but you think about the other characters that are sure bets.
Yeah.
They have one lackluster film, and it's like you don't touch it; that you're gonna bleed money.
Yeah.
But Hellboy, on the other hand, because even from the Del Toro movies to the David Harbour starred one, uh, very elaborate creature design.
Yeah. That's why I feel like they're going to go with it being a more intimate. I think that we'll get the less is more approach to the creature design and all of that, that whole thing. Um, which is fine. Like after what we saw with like Hell coming to Earth in that last Hellboy movie, it's kind of time for a Hellboy palate cleanser in a way, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. So next up, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom rumors claim test screenings have not been good. So reports have begun to emerge from the depths of the internet that the upcoming DC sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, is not looking good, with ongoing test screenings reportedly going quite badly. The idea that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom could be another DC dud first started with reliable scooper viewer Anon, who who claims that the follow up has had several test screenings and that each one has been met with bad results, with feedback stating that the movie is boring and possibly even one of the worst movies in the franchise. This is what viewer Anon had to say. I'll be honest, we're half a dozen test screenings in and it's not looking great. I've consistently heard over the last half year or so that it's boring, not as good as the first, and potentially one of the worst DCEU movies.
It's Amber Heard.
Yeah. Sadly, it doesn't stop there. Fellow scooper Big Screen Leaks has since responded with their own input, saying that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom test screenings have quote unquote not been good, and even that something that almost never happened in test screenings happened with this movie, which could mean walkouts, booing, or everyone in attendance falling asleep. It's hard to know for sure. If that were not already enough, reporter and insider Jeff Snyder has offered his own insight, revealing that not only is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom terrible, but that it is why Jason Momoa is all set to become Lobo in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU reboot. Of course, this all needs to be taken with a large pinch of salt. Earlier reports regarding test screenings have claimed that things were looking positive for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, though things could have changed between then and now. There is also still some time before we sit down to watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in theaters, giving director James Wan and the studio plenty of time to put things right before the DC sequel hits the big screen at the end of the year. So we'll see. That first Aquaman movie surprised the hell out of me.
Oh yeah.
So, and my thing is like, is this going to be part of the DC universe moving forward? You know what I mean?
After
Like,
Flash, right?
yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
if it keeps going the way it's going, they'll fucking just scrap it. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, right.
they've done it before.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm interested to see how they turn it around. If earlier test screenings were positive and the newer test screenings were negative, just find the old copy. You know, dig the
Put
old
her
copy out
back
of the
in. Goddamn, you know.
yeah, right. And then how do you sign up to do test screenings? That's what I want to know, because that's what I want my job to be.
Right.
Like, if I could just like, if someone could mail me or like
Oh
send
no, you
me,
got to go to a theater.
well, that's
They ain't
true.
gonna give you. And
I would
now
go to
they
the
give you a link, like there's a link where you go on a website and you get like a viewing.
Yeah,
They can tell if you
here's-
screen record, it's time stamped, like it'll have a watermark with your name.
Here's
That's how
my
they do that
question.
now.
And maybe it's part of this film. I don't know, but like, I wish they could have just kept it small a little bit, in the
Yeah.
sense of just have it be like Aquaman fighting Black Manta, dude, throughout a couple of films. You know,
yeah, right.
keep it more like, I don't know. It could have used some of the classic action movie tropes. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
shows up, beats the ass, doesn't kill the ass, comes back for the sequel, rinse, repeat, and it wouldn't have been a bad thing. Inject a little bit of, you know, love world building, and then bam, sequel, the final fight, get it done.
Yeah, right. I mean, to be honest, I'm just ready for like this last grouping of DC movies to come out, and then we'll have 3 years downtime, like technically 2 years, I guess, downtime before we get any more DC, like proper DC in universe content, and then like start fresh. You know, I can watch the Aquaman movie and the sequel that they're talking about, and it be its own entity, its own thing, and enjoy it for the movie that it is. But at the same time, like, now that we know what's in the pipeline and what's coming, I'm just ready for that. And if this isn't going to build to that, like I said, I'm still going to watch it and still hold out hope for it. But
Well, we can't also go on this really, because I mean, it wasn't just a few years ago that, unless you were following the way they've kind of reshaped Aquaman in the comics, the general consensus was Aquaman was the punchline. You know,
yeah,
when they finally referenced him in a the first time he gets brought up in a trailer is Bruce Wayne looking at him going, "I hear you talk to fish."
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so when you think about a test screening, what if the movie is way more serious than you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because the first one kind of went for a loop too. Like, it was
Well, everybody talked
way-
shit about that one too.
Yeah, that's
Remember?
true. Yeah.
And then we watched it and was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
Yeah, it's good.
Aquaman movie. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Aquaman.
well, I can't remember if the article was like something he wanted to do, and it got shot down, or it does show up in the movie. But apparently, there's this big moment where Aquaman's trying to talk to the United Nations about climate change, and it's very on the nose.
Is that where Cameron shows up and he's like, Thanos was right? It's like,
I'm
wrong
serious. I read it.
franchise.
I can't remember where I read it, or if we were talking about it honestly, but yeah, apparently that's a thing that might happen in this film.
Well,
So I don't know if that on the noseness of like social commentary.
So that's the villain, climate change.
played by Liam Neeson. I heard you want to save
Aquaman's
the planet.
fighting climate change.
Yeah, yeah.
The
There's
greatest
straws in the ocean.
the greatest CGI character ever created, the Earth.
That would be amazing. I would actually look forward to that. If he was legitimately fighting climate change, dude. And climate change is just a
Dude,
voice.
And just because comic book, they have to fight in another dimension. Because
mean-
why not? I mean, at this point,
Yeah. Well, that's the only way that climate change can manifest itself into something punchable.
yeah, it has to remove itself from reality.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
last up in this was-
like anyone's
right.
sane, like anyone's sane attempt at politics.
yeah, right. So last up here, I thought this was pretty interesting. Taika Waititi's Star Wars film gets greenlight despite Disney CEO Bob Iger's planned cutbacks. So earlier this month, Disney CEO Bob Iger told investors during a Q1 2023 earnings call that the brand needs to reform its current spending habits while alluding to the oversaturation of mid-grade Marvel and Star Wars vehicles landing on Disney Plus streaming platform. We have to be better at curating the Disney and the Pixar and the Marvel and the Star Wars of it all as well. And of course, reduce costs on everything that we make because while we're extremely proud of what's on screen, it's gotten to a point where it's extraordinarily expensive and we want all the quality. He also said we want the quality on the screen, but we have to look at what they cost us. So we're going to continue to go after subs, but we're going to be more judicious about how we do that. We're going to look carefully at pricing. We're going to reduce costs, both in content and, of course, infrastructure. Marvel content seems to be getting the brunt of the cuts, as Marvel CEO Kevin Feige told Entertainment Weekly last week. It is harder to hit the zeitgeist when there's so much product out there and so much content, as they say, which is a word that I hate. But we want Marvel Studios and the MCU projects to really stand out and stand above. So people will see that as we get further into Phase 5 and 6, the pace at which we're putting out the Disney Plus shows will change so they can each get a chance to shine. As for Star Wars, The Mandalorian season 3 and 2 new series, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, are being added to the Disney Plus streaming lineup this year. However, one inside source told THR, Lucasfilm may ramp up, but it will have to abide by the same fiscal discipline as the rest of the company. Nevertheless, Waititi's unique cinematic vision for the Star Wars franchise remains cleared for takeoff. Taika Waititi, who outside of the giant corporate franchises also directed the critically beloved and Oscar-winning Jojo Rabbit, which approaches Hitler from a child's perspective, went in a completely different direction for his second take on the hammer-wielding Viking superhero, a more innocent one. The director knew Thor buffs might not prefer this, according to AP. I want to show him in a light that most Thor fans wouldn't really want if we were to tell them. If you were to say to them, yeah, I'm going to make Thor in love, it's probably the last thing that a Thor fan really wants to hear. I'm not going into that next article. So anyway, Bob Iger's showing up and showing out, which, to be fair, is he wrong? And I would say probably not, right? Because like, if you oversaturate the market, then what are you going to have content to release for? Who are you going to be releasing content to at that point? And then also, like, not every idea needs to have some type of an adaptation to it, and some of these adaptations can be rolled into other properties. So like, so we got Moon Knight. Love the Moon Knight series. Moon Knight was great. Wouldn't change Moon Knight as a series by any stretch of the imagination. But if they want to introduce other characters and introduce like other teams, then they could, and it would be more bang for their buck at that point. Same thing with Star Wars. You know, how do you expand the Star Wars franchise? Do you do prequels? Do you do sequels? Do you have it connected to the Skywalker saga? Do you not? What do you do? How do you? And it feels like that the only people that know how to do that is Favreau and Filoni, right? So
Mhm.
it's one of those weird things where it's like I get where Bob Iger's coming from as far as cutbacks and oversaturation and things like that, but also at the same time I understand that like yeah, more content's always going to be welcome. I just don't have time to watch 2 or 3 series
So
at one time.
so this article made me think of something that I hate more than any of that. Made me think of Aerosmith.
'Cause I crying when I met
No,
you.
no.
Down.
Same old story, same old song and dance.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Because, I mean, whether you're reading between the lines or whatever, they were like, yeah, we're cutting costs, but we're staying the same.
Mhm.
That's what that article says.
Yeah.
So, mixed bag it is, boys.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if they're gonna reduce the amount of content that comes out, but it's gonna be more quality content like Daredevil, they told us right out of the gate, you're not gonna get Daredevil for a while. Just so you know.
Well,
That
because, well, going back to Iger's comments, he's like, we got to cut costs. We got to cut costs. It's expensive. It's expensive. Expenses don't mean shit when you're Disney, for crying out loud. What they're pissed is that they fucked up and shot themselves in the foot. Released all this content over the past few years, all at once. Think about like just how much they were hammering it out. Every couple of months, a new show, a new movie, a new. They weren't making the amount of revenue that they could if they had just slow dripped it.
yeah. No, I agree.
So we're gonna get all that shit that that they're gonna release. They're just gonna do it few and further between, so
Yeah.
that they can maximize their profit gains. That's all it is. Because all the House of Mouse gives a fuck about is that sweet green Dollarino.
Yeah. I agree. But to get that Dollarino, they gotta produce something worth a damn.
Can't be goddamn DiGiorno, motherfuckers. They better deliver.
Yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, that's all the and it's like Taika Waititi, like, okay, either he's got a really, really, really good idea for um for a Star Wars movie, right? Or they're afraid to say no to him for some reason. And like, don't get me wrong, he's produced some great things and then he's produced some not so great things. Um,
You know when Chris Tucker's playing that character in The Fifth Element?
yeah,
That's
rude.
Taika Waititi just marching through Disney, like going into different IP rooms,
Yeah, I got an
like
idea. I've
just
got an
hamming
idea
it
for
up.
this. Yeah, right. So
I'm gonna go into the Star Wars room. Here's the writers. What's up? What's up? What's up?
we need to do that on the pod. It's been too long. It's been too long since I've seen that. But yeah, that was all the things that I found interesting. I mean, there's a lot of, Ant-Man centric news, but I don't want to get into all that stuff quite yet.
We gotta let the quantum realm settle down first before we
Yeah.
Because I don't know about Adam, but I'm kind of scared to go there right now. It's real hot. It's a hot drop.
Hot drop in Quantum.
Superstore.
Yeah, right.
I
At
mean,
least, at
that's
least
a
it's not as
long
hot as
hot.
prison, though. You know. Yeah, I went and watched Ant-Man, and it was all right.
Are you gonna pre-rate it?
Nah, I'm gonna wait. I feel like
Alright.
I need to watch this again before I give a rating to it. So, and I need to watch the Heavy Spoilers video too. Apparently, they reshot the ending of the movie like 5 weeks before the movie came out, allegedly,
Wow.
which makes me like wonder what the original ending for it was gonna be. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I need to watch it again. Same old story, same old song and dance.
It's kind of funny
My
that Marvel is basically doing the same shit that Trey Parker does for South Park, but with way more money.
I mean,
And I mean, Gunn was right. I mean, I think we read a quote where he was like, "Marvel is relentless in their editing. Like they will still have that movie on the editing room, like days before the premiere."
yeah, tightening it up, dude. They gotta tighten it up.
I mean, nuts and bolts, man, nuts and bolts.
Toit. Gotta toiten it up.
The most expensive Connect set ever. So
That
what in the Merle Haggard's first trailer?
I don't know.
Sisu?
For some reason, I see that dude's face and I just thought Merle Haggard.
Looks like that dude from oh, he was the villain in the first
Don't Breathe and
yeah.
Avatar.
Yeah. Looks like him.
Scott.
I don't think it's him though. But it looks
It
like
does.
him.
Michael Lang or something. Oh
Oh,
no, it's not. Yeah, it's a foreign.
Oh, I'm ready. Jorma. Why do I know that name? Jorma Tamilia?
Taco taco.
I don't know. I'll have to do a deep dive.
Taco flavored.
He's from Finland. I'm ready for this
Sisu.
though.
Sisu.
All right.
How's the Sisu soup?
Miso sisu. All right.
Sisu seashells. Sorry.
3, 2, 1, play.
World War II.
He's in Finland though. Uh-oh.
Go!
There yells.
Let's too damn bad.
Oh shit.
Trying to sound like you're in the fucking bush.
Tell me where the gold is. No, he's gonna fuck you up. For real though.
Woo!
Oh shit.
That's what I'm
Dude,
talking about.
Whatever he's having for dinner, it's shanked, dude. Oh, no wonder.
Okay.
Odd choice
They call
of
him
music.
the prospector.
This is like the tough guy version of that. Ah.
Oh shit.
He just hit him
Podlock.
in the face with a landmine.
That just podlocked this fucking movie, dude. I will go back to the war zone for this. Is this like the Northman World War II edition?
I think so.
Minefield.
That gun ain't gonna protect you, buddy. Damn.
Okay, not pod locked anymore.
Give me your wallet.
I want to watch that so much. That looks amazing.
Ah,
It looks so over the top, but I can't wait.
we don't need your help. We help ourselves. Ah. Sorry,
See
Chris.
so.
So is this a biopic about the
Let's see.
Boston Strangler?
Oh yeah.
I hope it doesn't choke us up.
So it was written and directed by Matt Ruskin,
He's a Tuscan
who
Ruskin.
has
Keira
he
Knightley.
directed. Yeah, he hasn't directed a lot. This is the Hip Hop Project, Glen of the Downs, Booster, and Crown Heights. So, all right.
Well, good for
Let's
him. The source material writes itself here.
I know. Right? Yeah, right.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I like Keira Knightley. She does that weird thing with her mouth. So she's
She
got like
smells so
a
pretty,
underbite or
though.
something.
Keira Knightley.
And you know, back then they were probably like, and
Yeah.
notify me when he starts strangling men.
It's
See,
that guy
it
that's
is.
good. It's that guy that's good at saying no.
There's the 60s for you.
Wasn't he the father in October Sky where he's like, "No, Warner, you won't shoot rockets. Police works for men."
Oh,
That's
shit.
Polka Dot.
Polka Dot Man. I love how he's that guy to us.
And he's playing the Boston Strangler. Polka Dot Man is.
Move out of Boston now.
It don't look bad. I'm sure I'll be watching it at some point.
Yeah, same.
Boston. What about the Strangler?
He
What are you
chokes a motherfucker
doing?
out, man.
Tetris. I haven't seen this trailer yet. Trav was telling me about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
We got two
I'm
game
interested.
trailers. We got this one and one for pinball.
Have you seen
Hell
this
yeah.
one, Adam?
I have.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Probably Tetris.
Yeah. Frightfully Tetris.
Is that Elton John?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so, right?
Well, he looks different. Who knew?
Oh, it's yeah, right.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. All over Tetris?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I've
crazy.
I've watched documentaries on this on the game and all that shit, dude. And the original creator, like his story is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Oh, that's cool. I like that line where he's talking about. Let's get the end of it here. That's Nintendo. But remember when you were a kid, you would get your hands on a game and you could quit thinking about it when you went playing it?
Yeah.
It just don't really happen much anymore. Like,
Yeah, right.
One of the few moments where I'm glad the wife's got a subscription to Apple TV because I was probably gonna watch that, you know, like whether we podlock it or not. But I recommend we podlock it.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I mean, I've seen documentaries on the Tetris stuff as well, and it's crazy over a game, you know?
Yeah,
But still though, one of the best games of all time.
we need the
All right.
sound effect that says Hot Pocket, but Podlock it.
Crispy, crunchy, tender, flaky crust.
Podlock it.
We'll do some sound work after we
it
get through
gets
the episode.
it gets the coveted Real Estate Final Countdown remix.
Diddly-doo.
Take a gander at this cast.
All right, we got Kit Harington, Heather
Meryl
Graham,
Streep.
Meryl Streep, David Schwimmer, Ed Norton,
I mean,
Michael Gandolfini.
Isn't this the movie where Tobey Maguire's supposedly playing a villain?
it's got Tobey Maguire in it.
Like,
Yeah.
isn't he a bad guy in this?
Oh,
Not sure.
Let's give a gander. Forrest Whitaker.
It's actually a TV show.
What you doing in this movie, Toby? You're Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm
What
sure
kind of
he's gonna
voice
have
is-
a voice. Yeah.
yeah. What kind of voice is Forrest
He's gonna
gonna have?
come
in
over
this
and
one?
talking all weird and shit. Like,
No matter what you do, Toby, you ain't bringing Ben back.
I'm ready for it.
He's the only permadeath in Marvel, Toby. Get it in your head.
all right, 3, 2, 1, play. They left the comments on for this one. Oh, it was uploaded by somebody else. Mm. Budget. There you go. This is not the life.
It's on the nose what it's about, but I'm still down.
Yeah.
We're going to evolve and jump through wormholes. Well, it's like a better movie than Don't Look Up. Starring the the Screen Actors Guild.
Eight episodes.
I don't know if I want to do a long haul with this shit. I thought this was like a good little 2-hour romp through fucking climate change, but
Forrest Whitaker always coming in with the voices strong.
It's a different
dude.
voice every time you see him.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, just use
I-
your voice.
I think he forgot what his actual
He's been
natural.
acting so long. He's like lost.
Yeah, dude.
He's like
Yeah, he
dude in
lost.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
he doesn't
Lost
even
my
know who
way.
he is anymore.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes, though. You know.
So,
Lucky Hank.
so don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed Bob Odenkirk running solo. But I want him and David Cross to do a late in life reboot of Mr. Show. I think with the way the way both of them have went in their own careers, I think they could come back and make one of the funniest sketch comedy shows ever if they could do it.
Stranger things have happened.
I don't know if y'all have watched Mr. Show.
Oh yeah.
That shit is great. It's probably the closest thing to American Mighty Boosh.
I think I've seen a couple of skits from it, but I've never sat down and watched it.
But yeah, just throwing that out there. Maybe it'll manifest.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Shit, 85. Ow.
God.
Yes.
Sheesh.
She fucking
Something- There's something about Vince Gilligan being able to turn midlife crises into like really great stories.
I'm sorry, I just wasn't expecting that thing to get stuck through its fucking nose like that.
I'm just saying, bring back Mr. Show. We'll get more of that kind of shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, we finally get the fucking one off the Scarlet Witch.
I know, right? Is this her mourning process?
I mean, is this her in another universe? Did she find the Darkhold in this bitch? Again?
I like her Elizabeth Olsen a lot.
Mhm.
I
hear
like
Southern
You
her.
accent.
you almost went full Bobby Boucher for her, dude. You were like, I really like Elizabeth Olsen.
Mama said that. Mama said.
I really like Vicky
It's
Valancourt.
Vicky Valancourt.
Oh, I'm ready.
She was really good in the craft.
It's got her and old dude from Breaking Bad that shot the kid,
Oh,
Tommy, whatever his name
It's
was.
Todd.
Todd.
Fucking Todd.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. She does have a Southern accent though.
Ever since I took the Mind Stone from Vision.
You married Superman.
yeah, right.
Oh God.
Yes. Say less.
Yeah.
They fall in love and try to kill the other spouse. Guaranteed. We have to get out of this and be our own couple. Guess I'll kill my husband.
Yeah, the fucking synopsis is like 2 church-going couples enjoy small-town family life in Texas until somebody picks up an axe.
I mean,
Ha ha ha.
is it worth it though?
She plays Candy Montgomery.
Mm.
Would you be interested in having an affair? What?
Say less. Yeah. You mean right now?
I like affairs.
And while we're at
In front of
can we
all
go
these-
over this?
Creed.
Final trailer.
With arms wide open.
Remember the dude, Wakanda Forever wrote this.
Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan.
No, Cougar. Couglin? What's his name?
Steve Coogan. Yeah.
Stephen
Coogler.
Coogler. Yeah. Keenan
Directed by
Coogler.
Michael B. Jordan, but
Yeah. Ryan Coogler.
I mean, it's got Jonathan Majors in it. Let's peep it.
Yeah.
We saw a
I'm
small
ready.
teaser a while back.
So you.
Well,
cut us-
this is gonna be his Russian. For real though, because that was in the second. Anyway, I'm ready when y'all are.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
I have
Your
braked you.
wallet. 5 stars. Until one of us went to jail.
So what's it gonna be, Ant-Man?
It's personal.
For 90 minutes, Michael B. Jordan trains his ass off.
Oh, Majors
For a-
fucking put some muscle on, didn't he?
Yeah.
I bet he could do a good Mike Tyson.
Yeah. He's built like him, right?
Yeah. That's kind of cool. And they got a Drake song? Sheesh.
I like Jonathan Majors a lot.
Yeah.
I will say, hands down, the best part of Ant-Man. No question about it. His facting, dude. All right, pinball. Ever since I was a young boy, play a silver ball. You know what I'm saying?
Cue the piano.
If they don't play fucking Pinball Wizard, dude.
3, 2, 1, play. I didn't know this had drama around it.
Yeah. All of it, dude.
That's the fakest mustache I've ever seen. Look at that thing. Was it considered gambling or something?
Yeah.
You
Game
don't
of
get
chance.
money out of it, do you?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah. They considered it gambling.
uh,
I want to check it out though. Looks interesting. Most dangerous game, New York. What?
mm-hmm.
Is this an adaptation of
I believe
Most
it
Dangerous?
is.
But it's in New York with Christoph Waltz. I'm guessing he's like, yes.
And that guy, that's the dude from Umbrella Academy.
You're
Yeah.
going to run, and I'm going to shoot you. But I'm going to give you a head start, so you best choose wisely.
The clock is ticking. You know, like, all right. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh,
Oh
hell
God.
no.
Tyler, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, it was an English bulldog.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not a
Kick it
pit
in the
bull,
face.
you know.
Yeah.
God damn it, Skyler. New York. You ungrateful little bitch. Damn.
What the fuck is that?
Them razor blade nine tails. They didn't get
I
the memo on
mean,
Skylar, though.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. I'd watch it though, you know? Why not? It's got to be better than the last like 5 Bruce Willis movies that came out. EK Villain Returns? Who's EK?
Shit. Let to find out. I've never seen a YouTube channel that had A plus total grade.
No. This
Oh, it's
thing
T
is made.
series.
Yeah.
That's why.
Its estimated monthly earnings is between
Mm-hmm.
775K to 12.4 million. Whoa.
T series don't fuck around, dude.
Wow. It's got 236 million subscribers.
Remember when
Subscriber rank
PewDiePie was
first.
doing the battle with T series?
Yeah, yeah.
I think he finally lost.
Apparently. I'm ready though.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Whole different movie, dude.
Open the door. It looks like Saeed. They for real fighting over this girl.
What the fuck is happening?
I'll be the same.
I don't
Like 4 different
understand.
movies there.
I don't understand.
What is it with them and blown out microphones? Like just
I don't
it'll be
know,
like
dude.
distorted.
Yeah.
Violence.
Is this movie about Thamus Knives?
Oh, there's yeah.
It's about Thamus Knives? Or is this his favorite movie?
It's a Sammy. Snipes.
Oh, a Thamus Knives, son. Okay.
The snipers.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Thamus Knives. Oh, okay.
They made Dewhurst into a movie.
Sniper Elite. This song.
It's like the music in the background of like a character selection screen. Choose your fighter.
Let's open this bitch up.
Dude, it got to the best part of Freak on a Leash.
Thamus Knives. When I get off work, I'm going to go home and go watch my favorite movie, The Snipers. And then I'm going to get on Warzone. And then I'm going to snap them. Spooderman across the Spooderverse.
This is a fake trailer, but it's worth watching.
Okay. Spooderman. Another masterpiece as usual.
That's fucking
This is the same channel Trev that does all those Sonic videos that we watched that one night. But this, I would watch this movie for real. Y'all
Well,
see.
It's got 500,000 views,
Yeah,
so
and it just dropped a day ago.
I mean, sheesh.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh God. What the fuck?
A Spooder Fort.
God.
Just make the movie.
I mean,
Across the Spooderverse, dude.
would watch it, you know?
Yeah, so we're gonna do a Rider's Odyssey next week. We're gonna save Triple XR for last, right?
Yeah, but well, possibly there may be an issue with the Rider's Odyssey. I'm trying to.
It's on Tubi
Is it?
for free. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. So yeah.
Like when you search it, it says it on the side.
Okay. Tubi for free.
What else is it on? It's on Tubi for free, but then you can like buy it on some other platforms for
Right.
$2.
I mean, I want to check it out because, like, you know, we
remember
watched the
watching that
trailer.
clip.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
suit. Yeah, dude.
Brace yourself for Raw, dude.
But I'm
I
down
fuck
with that.
Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi.
Not to be tooting your Tubi.
Next episode of The Last of Us, Rider's Odyssey. And then we're gonna come in hot and heavy the next week with Triple R. That'll finish our foreign film. We got 2 war movies, and we're gonna go out with a bang, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm excited.
We're finally gonna watch our first Bollywood movie.
Yeah, it's a great. Maybe they'll drop Spooderverse between now and then.
Yeah.
We can watch it too.
On Tubi.
Yeah, why not?
Checks on the mail.
Yeah.